Hello everyone. Whoops. Hello everyone, my name is Prism, and welcome to another Minecraft video. And guys, today is a great day. The birds are singing, the sun is shining, and we have a brand new Minecraft update. That's right, today Mojang released 1.21.5, the Spring to Life drop. The first drop for the year 2025, and despite my thoughts on the drop system, I do have to say that this one is actually really cool. This one adds a lot of new nature things to the game, a few new plants, some new mob personalities and textures, villager changes in terms of trades. There's just so much in this drop. I'm not going to go over everything. If you want an entire video to go over everything, then I would suggest going over to Slice Slime's YouTube channel, because they're really good at doing that. They, in fact, work on Minecraft, so if you go to their channel, you're going to get, like, the full developer, like, overview of all the features, all the gameplay features, and even all the technical features eventually. But for now, I just want to kind of do a brief overview of the update, just kind of all the features that I think are pretty big and pretty cool, pretty noticeable. And that's kind of the whole thing about this update, that unlike some other updates, that unlike some other updates, this one is really geared towards the environment. So instead of just adding like a new biome or a new mob in that biome, instead what Mojang have done is try to enhance previous features and try to make existing biomes feel more welcoming. So there are no new biomes in this version, there's just new foliage and things like that to some of the biomes. But let's get started by mentioning all the new plants, because this update has, seven new plants. We've got the wildflowers, which can spawn in birch forest and can be maxed out to 4. We have the bush, we have the firefly bush, we have the short dry grass, the tall dry grass, cactus flowers, and leaf litter. Leaf litter can be made into a big piece like this, and yeah, works like the wildflowers. Very cool, though. Then they've changed the recipe of the lodestone in this version. The lodestone will no longer need a netherite ingot to be crafted. You can craft it with an iron ingot. Also, they've added warm variants of mobs and cold texture variants. So here's the pig, the cow, and the chicken. And the pig, the cow, and the chicken. And, of course, it laid a blue egg. And if this one lays an egg, it will be a brown egg. So they've done that. They've also added unique spawn egg textures for every single spawn egg in the game. I cannot imagine how much work this was. This must have been a really difficult, time-consuming job. And, you know, at first I was a little more hostile to it. I thought it was a pretty bad change. I didn't like it. But I think I've gotten used to it as I've talked about it with other people and stuff like that. And you have to admit that some of these are really cute. Like the sniffer and the wolf. These almost look like Pokeballs. Like, these are really cute. I should also mention that you should... I have this resource pack on, don't worry about that. If you have the programmer art, these will revert to the original spawn egg textures. So if you don't want the new textures, just load that resource pack. Which I think is really, really cool. I think it's awesome Mojang did that. I think it's really great for people who want to play with the game as it was. But I think it's also great that they added this for accessibility. I just kind of wish they changed some of the textures. Also, yes, new wolf sounds. Brand new wolf sounds depending on their personality. But they did remove one sound. If we go play sound entity.wolf.howl, it no longer exists. And I actually am upset about this, because it was such a legacy feature to the game. You know, I don't know why they removed it. I actually might try and ask, because I'm genuinely curious. Why did he remove this sound? It was so cute. You could have just kept it in the game, let map makers use it. Anyways, we have the new test instant block textures. And yeah, these have all been added, so there's now new blocks for testing things. These are what the developers use. That wolf is very loud. Yeah, very cool. You can do all this little fun stuff. There's a lot more to go through in this update. In fact, I think we should just fly around a little bit, because you're going to see things all around the world. Like in the plains, you'll find some bushes on occasion. In the forest, you'll find wildflowers, fallen trees. This is a huge thing. This has been in Bedrock Edition for years, and they finally added it to Java. They didn't add hollow logs, which I was hoping they would, but they did put little mushrooms on the trees. Also, you'll notice that all of them have these little leaf particles falling off of them. It just makes the game so much more alive. Now, I will argue it might cause some lag, but hopefully not. You can always turn your particles down to minimal. Let's see, what else do we have here? Stop turning to night. I need to be able to see the beautiful nature. If we go to a desert biome, the desert... Actually, let's go to a swamp biome. This is where you're actually going to find the brand new firefly bushes, and they're really cool. They're actually a really cool block. I don't know why my game's freezing up here. If I set the time to night, if I set it, you'll notice these little firefly particles. They just start to appear. This is Mojang's solution to the fireflies. This is how they handled them. And I think this is, you know, in a way disappointing that it doesn't take over the whole biome, but I think it gives the player a lot more creativity. That you can just literally have this bush be wherever you want, and it will create these particles, and if, say, your friend's like, hey, it's a little bit too laggy, just break the bush and they're gone. And no, they aren't 2 pixels anymore, they're now 1 pixel, but they're really, really cool. And I think it's great that Mojang added this. You can see them spawning around the world. Also, yeah, sheep now have different colors depending on the biome they spawn in when it comes to their wool. But I'm going to go to desert biome. And desert biomes are actually pretty cool in this update because if I could not freeze the game, this is a brand new release, so we're just running things a little bit slow here. I don't even have Optifine yet, but wow, I have high FPS. What? That's... okay. Let me try that again. I guess deserts don't spawn in this version. Well, you're gonna have to trust me on that. I think there's a bug with desert biomes. But basically, if you go to a desert... oh, there it is. If you go to a desert biome, you will find camels, you will find dry bushes, you will find all this fun stuff. Let's set the time today. Wow, that is a really lame desert. Seriously? This is what you have here for a desert? But yeah, we can go over here and we can see all the little dry bushes. Wish they'd add some tumbleweeds. And I would argue that I don't think these really fit the Badlands, but, you know, the idea is there. I don't know what's going on with my frame rate. Anyways. Let's go to Badlands Village, or a desert village. Village. Desert. Thank you very much. And here we should be able to see some camels, hopefully, because it's a bigger biome. But yeah, they will no longer just spawn in villages. They will spawn all around the desert. Yeah, there's one right there. So you can see that it's already generating. And then another big thing is that cartographers... let me, get one of you guys. Let me grab your spawn egg. Thank you. No. So if you get a cartography table and a villager... I'm curious what's in that chest. These guys will actually now give you explorer maps to biomes and to villages, which is really cool. I can't remember which one does what. I know the Wandering Trader can also give you maps. I think there's even new structure maps, but I could be mistaken. Look at the changelog. If you want clarification, go to the changelog because it basically has every big change in there. Yeah, Jungle Explorer map, Savannah Explorer map. So if I get a compass, I can then take this, and we can see, oh, where's the nearest jungle? Or, oh, where's the nearest, Savannah biome? Dang, I don't have a second compass on me. But basically, you get the idea that we can buy all these different maps, and now we can go find, I think, a jungle temple? Oh, that's really cool. Huh. I don't know if you're finding temples or if you're finding biomes, but basically, yeah, you can now do that with maps, which you could argue ruins some of exploration, but I think it's an option, and I think it's a really cool option to have. They also made it so bundles can now spawn in villages. If I can actually find a house with a chest. None of these guys seem to have chests. Yeah. I think you get the basic idea. Like, you know, you can just give yourself loot. I don't remember which village or house it is, but just trust me on it. You can now find maps and villages. And, yeah, that's basically the Spring to Life drop. That is basically, you know, some of what 1.21.5 brings. Now, in terms of the next drop, I am wondering when they are going to start snapshots. I don't think it will be... Well, it might not be this week. Mojang... Okay, I don't know what happened there. Mojang have a habit of releasing bug fixes the day after release if critical bugs are found. So, if they don't release a 1.21.5 or 0.6 summer drop snapshot this week, I would assume next week or in April. You gotta give the developers some time to, develop. But yeah, we can definitely expect some summer drop stuff to come soon. Especially with the update releasing in the summer, they want to get it out probably by the end of May. If not earlier, if not later. But that is basically my thoughts on Minecraft and the brand new Spring to Life drop. Please read the changelog. Please view Slice Slime's video. He does great update breakdowns, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!